Guys, welcome back to a very exciting video. So the World Chess Championship match 2024 starts in about a month in Singapore. Dean Liren will be facing one of the youngest challengers, if not the youngest one, Gukesh Domaraja. And Gukesh has a chance to become the youngest world chess champion in the history of chess. So I know that's probably a lot of you have started playing chess only recently, maybe 3-4 years ago, and you don't even probably know what was going on 10 years ago on the world chess scene. I was starting at this point, and you know, one of the first events, I'm not really remember, because the first chess championship match, world chess championship match I remember was 2014, but we'll start with the first one, when the era of Magnus Carlsen began, as he kicked off in Chennai, India, against Viswanathan Anand, who at this point, you know, won in 4 world championship matches. One against Kramnik, second against Kramnik, then one versus Viswanathan Anand, and one versus Boris Gelfand. And you probably don't even know the names of Boris Gelfand and Viswanathan Anand. You all know Kramnik, but those two names are probably missing from your list. But then, you know, this young man came in, Magnus Carlsen, who, I mean, not accidentally, but he was on the verge to become second in the candidates tournaments, and Kramnik was about to finish first, but then there were some tie breaks and Magnus got the first place and was set off to play versus Vishy in Chennai, India. Sorry for the very long intro. So Carlsen Anand, as you can see on the rating, that's the first game I'm about to show you, game 5 of the match. First 4 games finished in a draw, and Magnus Carlsen, who was rated 2870 at the time, plays c4. So Anand responds with d6, d4, d5, knight c3, and we have queen's gambit declined. And after c6, Magnus is going for one of the sharpest lines possible. He plays e4, and computer says it's like, you know, move, not even computer, I think it's annotators, you know, it says like, you know, move that deserves some attention. Because usually what people do here, they try to play a bit more simple, you know, maybe knight f3, e3, but Magnus goes for e4. He was probably tired of draw. And what's interesting, like, if you see the rating difference, it's almost 100 points. And Magnus was established as world #1 at that point. And I'm not sure if he was considered a favorite in this match, considering how many matches Anand played at that point. 4 whole matches, and he won every single one of them. So of course it's going to be hard for Magnus, even though he is world #1, but still Anand has this much experience. And you know, even though Magnus was kind of a lot better probably at that point, still, you know, Anand could have chances. Knight f3, knight f6, bishop e3, knight c6, queen d3, c takes d4, knight d4, knight goes to g4, hitting the bishop on e3, and here Magnus go for castle. Absolute chaos, absolutely insane position. And you know, I'm reading the comments that annotators left here. I mean, everyone was just amazed by how Magnus played this game. So bishop c7, knight c6, b takes c6, queen d8, bishop d8, and now bishop e2. At this point, Anand got 2 bishops. You know, Carlsen is trying to obviously use his advantage, development advantage, go to f3, king e7, bishop f3, bishop d7, knight d4, and here, you know, white can just go rook d2, and that's what they're probably gonna do at some point, and try to use d-file, but there are no real squares in d-file. This knight might go to c5 at some point, d6, maybe c5, knight d6. So let's see, I didn't see this game, so it will be interesting for me. c5, f5 takes, b7 intermezzo. The idea is, of course, if e takes f3, b takes a8, and white are up in material. Rook b8, bishop b4, rook b7, leaving black with kind of bad pawn structure. Yeah, Magnus has this e3 pawn, but black have a lot more, you know, this pawn island, so-called. And using this better pawn structure. No, Magnus is well known right now for squeezing positions out of nowhere, and this is what was happening in this game, because computer has no advantage to white pieces, no advantage at all. Rook b5, rook f4, g5, rook f3, h5, rook f1, trying to get to f7, bishop c2, absolutely equal endgame, equal material, but Magnus is the one who is playing for a win here. a5, king d2, there's b3, bishop h5, and so-called squeezing is happening. Rook f2, rook d4, rook h6, bishop b1, not trading any pieces, king c3, and now this pawn is under attack. Rook b2, e5, rook g6, and still no advantage for Magnus. This game lasted not for too long after this point. a4, rook g5, rook b3, takes, rook e5, king d6, rook h5, trying to take on h4, rook d1 e5, there's bishop h7, and this was kind of first mistake, but still, you know, you're playing this position, you don't really understand like why rook c1 check is such a bad move. So bishop g8, rook h6, bishop b3 takes, rook g2, rook h4, and here Magnus got 2 pawns up, and he is converting this endgame. Rook h7, a6, king c3, rook a2, a7, king c5, and h4. I think I even saw this endgame somewhere, and we should just resign. He has no chance. Let me show you what could have happened. Let's say king b2, I mean king b4 now, just rook b7. So let's say rook goes to a6, just simply taking pawn, h6, c3, king c2, rook a2, this, king b3, rook b7, king c4, h7. There is no checkmate. One of these pawns will promote next move, king d3, last trick, just rook d7 check, and then promote one of the pawns. And this is how Magnus won the first game. And in the next game he was playing with black pieces. Vishy had white pieces, and of course he wanted to strike back. e4, f5, knight f3, knight 6, bishop b5, knight f6, going for Berlin defense, but Vishy doesn't go for common bishop c6, but goes for this d3 system. c3, castle, castle, rook e8, rook e1, a6, bishop a4, b5, bishop b3, d6. So, quite boring. So generally what happens in these matches, unless someone gets an early lead, players will usually play very, very boring chess, and that's what will happen in the next matches, in some of the next matches. And unless this first decisive result happens, we won't see a lot of, you know, interesting games. Sometimes they happen, but sometimes it's just like we see boring chess because a lot of at stake and people don't usually try to risk everything. So, but at this point, of course, Vishy needs a win. He lost one of the game, and it once again, it's game 6. Right after game 5 that he lost, he is looking forward to strike back. Knight b8, knight d7, Magnus is playing very solidly. Queen a6, b4, a5, trying to trade some pieces of the board, and at this point, alright, probably no advantage, and Magnus trades the last light pieces from the board, and now heavy pieces endgame. Trades again, queen b7, queen c6, and no real chance for Vishy. You know, Magnus trying to press this, and computer says it's kind of equal, around equal. Black might have small advantage, but it's still hard to do anything. So Vishy of course tried to push, and now he is down a pawn in the rook endgame. Rook endgames are generally known to be drawn most of the time, even if one of the sides is down a pawn, but you gotta learn them. You just gotta learn them, because sometimes people don't know what Philidor position is, so maybe some of you who are watching don't know what it is, but guys, it's very crucial that you know this, you know, typical most important positions how to draw. So f6, king f7, takes king g3, rook b6, f5. So, and again, Magnus is just squeezing. Once again, equal, absolutely equal position on the board. So Vishy lost equal position in the last game, and now he has to hold to a draw. h4, king h5, rook f4, rook g4, rook g3. Now king comes back, king walks all the way, and now he doesn't even see that winning, because it just looks like an absolute dead draw. Because what happens here is white got basically 2 pass pawns. Black pawns don't look like they're going to do anything. So f4 is played, rook a4. Rook a4 is a mistake. According to computer, b4 was the best move, and after h3 takes rook g5, rook c6, I assume f3, rook e6, king f2, let's say, not b5 but c4. Somehow it is just a draw. But after rook a4, you know, it is insane, but now position becomes winner. And you can pause the video and try to solve it. And, you know, h3. G takes h3, and now rook comes to g6. Pawn moves, king e2, f2, and this pawn is just unstoppable. This, rook a8. So what happened after rook a1 is rook e6, and this comes this way. This king f3, rook a1 is coming next move, and black are winning. Rook a8, trying to basically get this. Rook g1, and here Vishy resigned, and Magnus took 2 points lead at this point. So, and of course Vishy needed to strike back. Back in the day, the match was 12 games only. So, and 2 points was, I mean, it was hard to, you know, get this back. So here, let's say rook f8, king f3, this, rook e8, basically king hides at some point, and pawn will promote, and this pawn will be taken, and black will win the game. So game number 9. Hope you stay till this point, because that is probably the most legendary game of this World Chess Championship matches, because I saw it multiple times and it's actually insane. d4, knight f6. So at this point, of course, Vishy needs to get. So games from 7 and 8 finished in draw, and you know, Vishy needed something. And instead of going for e4, you know, Berlin again, he started with d4, because at this point he has nothing to do. He gotta act weak, he gotta be aggressive, he just gotta beat Magnus once. f3, d5, a3 takes, c5 takes, and we got the following position. Nimzo Indian, kinda, you know, kinda boring, I would say. Bishop g2, knight a5, knight b3, rook a2, b5. So usually in this Nimzo Indian positions, you know, white will eventually start a huge kingside attack, and black will try to create a counterplay on queenside. And that's what we're seeing in this game. Knight e8, knight c1 takes the bishop, now rook goes to a6, potentially keeping an eye on this rank, e5, knight c7, f4. What I said is basically king side attack. Takes, f5, queen f4, f6, and a lot of players would be scared to play here, because, you know, you see all of that, you know, your king is being absolutely harassed here. It's hard. But black have this little counterplay on b3 as well. g6, queen h4, now it just looks like, alright, queen h6, queen g7, checkmate is coming, knight e8. Even though Magnus is passive, he's still holding his position. Queen h6, this square is protected, b2, rook f4, and now rook h4 checkmate is being threatened, and Vishy allows this check, allows this promotion basically, because he thinks that after knight f1 he's winning, because, you know, rook h4 is tough to stop basically, right? But, you know, according to the computer, the best move here is bishop f1 actually, and then, you know, what black have to do in the following position is to play freaking queen h5 to sacrifice the queen back, and after knight h5, g takes h5, rook h5 to play bishop f5, and, you know, return this bishop to g6. This is one of the most craziest positions, and, you know, watching this again, it's like, it's insane. But why knight f1 is a blunder? So rook h4 is still being threatened, right? But here, after the next move, queen a1, Vishy resigned the game and lost this match 6.5 to 3.5. So the problem is here for white pieces is that after rook h4, threatening checkmate on h7, black can just take this rook on h4 and they have no troubles, they're up material, and they will win the game. And this is how the era of Magnus Carlsen began in Chennai, and a year later they would face off in the match in Sochi, Russia, where Anand would try to take his revenge, but I'll talk about it in the next video, in the next episode. I'll see you very soon. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you got something new, because I know that's, you know, an interesting information, interesting recap. We'll go to get this World Chess Championship match 2014 in the next one. Bye bye.